Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm showing you guys how I did this pink set, and this set is just a simple set with a gel top coat, and I'm actually using some new nail tips, and so this will be in review also because this is my first time actually doing double tip nails with DND nail tips. And so I usually use Miss Anna nail tips, and these nail tips, they're actually longer than the Miss Anna nail tips. And so like I said, these are new, and so I'm showing you guys that how I used my the double tip nails. And these double tip nails, I'm actually skipping a nail tip size when I do the double tips. So as you guys can see, I'm using a number 0 for the thumb, and then I would skip over to a number 2 rather than I use a number 1. So when I'm doing the double tips for the second nail, I kind of hold it at a angle a bit higher because I don't want it to be extremely curved. And so if you do hold the nail down, it will be extremely curved. And so since this is a double tip, you don't want it to have that curvy look because it will look tacky. So kind of hold the second tip kind of towards the sky, even though the tip seems like it's actually kind of guiding you to fully close the tip. You actually want to kind of see that little gap underneath. So yeah, kind of hold it up at an angle. So after I'm done doing my double tips, I kind of make sure they're all leveled and all look the same, and then I choose the length, and usually I go towards the middle. Since it is double tips, I don't see the purpose of cutting it all the way at the top. So yeah, I actually just cut it at the middle and leave that length because it's really sexy, so why not? But one thing I disliked about this tip, I can say the nail tips was actually flimsy, and a lot of people, they actually use DND, and DND is actually more than Miss Anna, so I was actually surprised. But for the length, I actually love it because it is actually long. And so if you have a client that actually just wants that one tip rather than doing double tips, it is actually really good for length. But for quality and durability, I would say that this is kind of a thin nail tip. So I didn't want to do a sharp shape such as a stiletto or a coffin because I didn't want to mess up the double tip. As you guys see, I have to be careful when I'm filing, so I didn't want to do a shape that required a lot of filing, such as the stilettos. So after I'm done filing around the edges and getting that sharp look for the square nails, I'm using a fast setting monomer. And this monomer, I actually got it from a new nail store that I actually went to. And this nail store, I actually did a vlog about it, and I will post this in the description box as well. But I'm using a new monomer, and so this monomer is a fast setting monomer. So I'm using a new method of where I'm picking up the beads smaller, but I'm working from the bottom. So as I'm working from the bottom, I'm working my way up to the top. And so yeah, as you guys will see, that I have to work extremely fast, and I actually like this monomer way better. And as you guys know, I've been doing nails for a while now, and so using this monomer is actually helping me get better with my technique. And so this pink custom powder is actually from Mia's Secret as well. Well, not from the monomer, but it's from Mia's Secret. And so I'm actually using a different clear polymer which is the acrylic powder. And so I actually mixed pink and clear and got the sheer look. And I've done a pink look before, but I had to use stones. So I wanted to do a simple pink set with the double tips. So also, when you're doing acrylics on double tip nails, you want to make sure that you're not holding on to the nail tip. Because if you are holding on to the nail tip, as you're applying the acrylic, it will stay in place and stay in that form. And so you don't want to bend the nail tip, especially if you're using a nail tip that is kind of flimsy or it's kind of like a thin nail tip, such as these right here. But yeah, not throwing any shade to myself, but these nail tips are actually good though, no lie. But I just didn't like the fact that it was just so thin, because when you're doing your shapings, it will kind of bend and it can hurt the client. So you would have to be careful when you're using a thin nail tip. But it's actually holding up pretty well, to be honest. And the brush I'm using today is a Kolinsky brush. I believe this is a size 20. But this brush is actually such a good brush. And if you guys find a really good Kolinsky brush with the bristles that are very soft, it will lay the acrylic way better than getting a cheap brush that's like $5, $6. The real Kolinsky brushes, they would range to about $20 to $30, even up to $50 to $70. So getting a really good brush is going to help your acrylic application definitely like 100%. So when I'm done laying the pink acrylic down, I actually encapsulate it with clear acrylic at the end, because when I'm filing it, I don't want to mess up the pink acrylic. So the purpose of always putting the clear acrylic is for that little layer of protection. But you don't want to add too much clear acrylic, just a thin layer. As you guys can see, it's like I'm kind of painting the acrylic on there, but not really applying it as I would when I'm doing a set. So I just want to apply that thin layer, because when you are filing it with the drill, you don't want to damage that pink sheer look, because it will look kind of tacky and it would have that indentation, and so you don't want that indentation in the nail when you are filing it. So on my ring finger, as you guys can see, I just added some clear acrylic so I can add some polish to it. But now I'm using my Pro Tool nail drill to actually go around the cuticle area. And I'm using a safety bit. So you guys want to use a safety bit on the cuticle area so you guys don't cut your clients or cut yourself. So when you guys are using your drill, you want to actually be careful and make sure you're holding onto the nail this time. And so when you're holding onto the nail, you don't want to like apply too much pressure, but you still want to have that grip where you're not letting the drill control you. You control the drill. And one thing I can say about working with the fast setting monomer, it actually lays the acrylic really nice. So when you work on your application, on how you lay the acrylic down, it will minimize the need of filing the nail too much. And so as you guys can see, I'm also drilling the bottom as well. And so after I'm done drilling the top and the cuticle area, I'm filing the sides with my file and just making sure that the sides and the edge area is sharp and, you know, have that square look. So today I'm using the DND gel top coat. And this gel top coat is a bit watery, but it's actually a really good gel top coat. So I can say that it gives the nail a lot of shine, and it's actually an extra protection for the acrylic. So I can say that this gel top coat is actually really, really good. As you guys may notice on my ring finger, I tried to do a 3D look with some white acrylic, but that didn't work out, so I just drilled it off. But after I'm done applying my gel top coat, this is the look. And so, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And I would like to welcome my new subscribers as well as my vets.